Kia ora, I'm David Chaston with 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz. This week at everything you need to know in 90 seconds at 9 o'clock, with news markets have essentially been on hold overnight, awaiting the US Fed's decision. In the end, the Fed's FOMC trimmed its key rate by 25 basis points to 3.75%, as markets had guessed it would do. But it was not unanimous. The Trump stooge on the committee wanted a far larger cut, but the professional members fear inflation still, and the small trim was the uneasy compromise. The voting was 9 members to cut by 25 basis points, 2 to hold unchanged, and Moran wanting the big cut. Immediately after, the US Treasury 10-year yield was active with a softish tone, but really little changed. The S&P 500 rose, and the US dollar fell slightly. More reaction will come after Chairman Powell's press conference, which is starting about now. And the third quarter 2025 data for US payroll compensation costs, that's pay plus payroll taxes plus benefits, were up 3.5% from a year ago, rising at about that rate in the latest quarter too. So American inflation isn't getting any respite from this direction. In Canada, their central bank stood pat, holding their policy rate unchanged at 2.25% as widely expected. They say this is about the right level in the current uncertain environment. But they were surprised by the upside growth of GDP at 2.6% in the third quarter. They found the labour market improvement better than anticipated as their unemployment rate fell, and inflation there slowed to 2.2% in October, and they see core inflation remaining at the 2.5% to 3% range. Across the Pacific in China, there was a slight rise in CPI inflation, enhanced because the previous inflation was so low. Meanwhile, China's producer prices fell into a steeper deflation, down 2.2% in November from a year ago. And the IMF has raised its forecast of growth of the Chinese economy for 2025 and 2026, now expecting to see an expansion of 5% this year. The US Treasury 10-year yield is now at 4.16%, dipping 1 basis point from this time yesterday and holding on after the Fed decision. And the price of gold will start today at $4,204 an ounce, down $17 from yesterday. And we should note again that silver has set a new record high at just under $61 an ounce. And American oil prices are little changed at just on $58 a barrel, while the international Brent price is just under $62 a barrel. And the Kiwi dollar is 10 basis points firmer from yesterday, now just under 57.9 US cents. Against the Aussie, though, we're essentially unchanged at 87.1 Australian cents. Against the euro, we're down 10 basis points, or 49.7 euro cents. That all means our trade-weighted index starts today at just over 62, and also down 10 basis points from yesterday. You can get more news about the economy in New Zealand from interest.co.nz. Kia ora, I'm David Chaston, and we'll do this again tomorrow.